Hi everyone, good morning, this is Dan, welcome to Engelgeist. For those of you that are new, welcome. For those of you that are returning, welcome back. For those of you that support me over on Patreon, thank you so very much for your subscriptions. I greatly appreciate them. This is the daily forecast. It is for all signs. So I do speak in broad terms. You need to figure out if and where it fits in your life, if at all. If it doesn't fit or doesn't make sense, that's okay. It's broken or wrong. You're not, it just may not be your reading. It's not like you're not on the right path or anything like that. For those of you that are new, please check out the drop-down menu underneath any of my daily videos or the weekly videos. In there, some house rules, things I want you to know about when utilizing the channel, what decks I'm using, how to follow me on social media and contact me if you want a private reading. You can do that either through my Facebook business page or direct message me at Instagram. Know that I will never reach out to you to sell you a reading, so if anybody ever pretends to read me, it's not, basically. This reading is created, and then obviously like the video, subscribe, share the video out, and leave me a question or comment. Those are all great ways to support the channel. This video is originally created for Monday, March 20th. It's not solely set for that date, though. I do believe that readings can be timeless, so if you're seeing this on a different date, like it's just shown up via the magical YouTube algorithm, and you happen to be watching it, and it fits your situation, by all means, utilize it. I believe that readings are timeless. They find us when we need them, and when we open ourselves up in that way, the messages can come in more frequently. So don't get stuck on the date. If this pertains, by all means, utilize it for your highest good. All right, so let's see what's going on in the cards. Let's get this shuffled here. Oh, and the other thing I did want to say is that if you hear me, for those of you that are new, if you hear me talking about cards that you don't see in the reading, I'm oftentimes referring back to the Sunday underpinning reading, which is the reading for the week that shows us kind of what sort of layer of energy is underneath the cards that we look at daily throughout the week. So you can check that out at the end of this video. It populates in the lower left-hand corner. So that's how you watch that. All right, so let's see what's going on. And actually, to be honest, this Sunday's reading was really kind of cool. So I'm hoping that the cards stay cool this week. We'll see what happens. All right, what do we have? We have the Ace of Emotions. All right, so they're staying pretty cool. In this deck, Emotions represents Cups. Ace of Cups is always a beautiful, beautiful card. It's a renewal, in my opinion. It can be a renewal about how we feel about a situation, a person, ourselves even. It's oftentimes surprising because it's an ace. They come out of nowhere, or to me, it's signifies a turnover or a rebirth in a way. Any of the aces gives us a new, fresh perspective. This would obviously be around our emotions and how we're feeling about maybe ourselves or our life or another person. And I like how her head's sort of thrown back and she's totally facing the future. In other words, and almost like her eyes are closed, and I don't mean we're not paying attention to what's going on around us, but there is this sort of faith or trust in this actual design of this card that makes me feel like we're just going with what feels right. And there was what was the card yesterday? When I honor my feeling, I find my power in powerless situations. And it's interesting that we're leading the week out with this Ace of Emotions, which is all about feelings. Underpinning this from the Sunday reading is that Ten of Pentacles. That's going to pair beautifully with the Ace of Cups. Tens are final, kind of the end of a situation. Pentacles and Cups are complementary to one another, earth and water. But the 10 sort of Pentacles is underpinning this Ace of Cups. To me, it's kind of also that natural progression of the tarot itself, although the suits are different. So this newfound, let's call it emotional freedom, because she does feel like I just get this what's that, YOLO? You only live once kind of vibe from this card. She's ready to deep dive and go forward and follow almost um, her emotions or how she feels with reckless abandon. You know, and I don't mean that in a bad way. I mean it like feels to me like freedom, like she's just um, not giving up, but you know, like handing it over. No longer fighting with her brain or with her ego or her fears. Maybe we're just like understanding that, okay, no, this is how I feel, this is what I want, this is what I'm going to go after, regardless of the outcome or regardless of the steps that I need to take, or maybe the lack of a plan I may or may not have. I'm just going to step forward in faith that what I feel is true for me, and therefore it's valid, important, um, and it feels like I just get this sense of like freedom from her, where either a weight's being lifted or it's just, to me, it just feels like some new awareness or honoring of our own emotional feelings and the shift that comes with that. The other thing that I just noticed as I was looking at this is I love these two little blue fish swimming together there. There kind of is a little bit, because the Ace of Cups can also be a very romantic card. It's like oftentimes about the outpouring or overflowing of new love. So this, and love, when I say love, yes, it obviously means romantic, but it can also be love between two friends. It can be love between you and a family member, or, you know, I don't know that, well, we can't, I guess we can love our coworkers. Just don't get sued for harassment. But, you know, like that appreciation is in this card. Those two little fish are making me feel like there's um, an appreciation of the bond that we share with maybe another individual, that we are turning ourselves towards and moving into the future, pursuing it with a hopefulness or a release in some way that lightens us, asks us not to worry. And we're willing to do that today. We're willing to even shut our eyes the way that her head is back and her eyes are shut. Shut our eyes to maybe what other people are seeing, doing, saying, what's socially acceptable, what's not. Um, we're listening to ourselves, our own emotional barometer, and we're allowing that to move us forward. That, with the Ten of Pentacles underpinning this, kind of indicates, it's sort of like that Abraham Hicks thing. I've said it in the past, but you know, sometimes you have to concentrate on the feeling good of something to be able to attract it into your life. And that's sort of what I feel like these two cards have the potential to do. Between the Ten of Pentacles, which is like, you know, well-being and um, security for everyone, you and all of your loved ones. This is the feeling of that, or going towards that feeling with a new inspired abandon, I want to say, because she just feels like she's just like, take me, universe, take me, this is what I want, this is how I feel. I'm not going to get caught up in the details of whether or not I can get there, or how I'm going to get there, or how fast I need to get there. I'm just going to be in the excitement and the wonder of the feelings, and I'm going to move forward. So I really love this. I feel this, like, liberation is a really good word for this card too. I feel like she's just liberated and ready to move forward. Let's go to the Miracles Now card and see what that has to say. I make time to recharge my battery. The world needs my energetic light. So I like this because, first off, it's an I statement, and we have this Ace of Emotions, or the Ace of Cups. So we are, and I always think of the Ace as being number one, or sometimes about the self. Yes, they're gifts from the universe that come out of nowhere and are usually oftentimes exciting and inspiring. But this is also about listening and honoring our own emotional feelings and what we desire, what we want, which direction we want to head. There's a self-care to this. I take time to recharge my battery. The world needs my energetic light. It speaks to, and that might be, the recharge is sort of the new gift that the Ace is to push us forward. These two cards feel like they're in sync to one another. This could very much be a day to just do us, like, or, you know, just do you, boo, kind of thing. concentrating solely on what feels good to you and allowing that to kind of pour forward, not only um, pour forth into you, but then also it sort of exudes out. I hope that makes sense. And when we do that, that's the energetic light that the world needs. And if we don't tend to that light, or if we don't recharge it, if we don't honor how we're feeling, and I'm not saying all of us are going to be feeling great, right? Some of you might be feeling sad, down, depressed, but sitting in those emotions and kind of becoming okay with them helps to kind of take the power away, right? Running, resisting, or avoiding them and pretending they don't exist is going to actually drain our battery than, you know, allowing ourselves the downtime if we need it to get into our emotions. And overwhelm is not the right word, but because her head is thrown back like that, like allow them to pour forward or like pour over us, through us, whether positive or negative, right? I mean, and if they're negative, when we sit there and we kind of honor them, we actually transform them. It's okay to hold space for ourselves if we're in any sort of pain or discomfort emotionally. It's almost like um, it's actually really important that we do that. So if some of you need to take a day of self-care or just a day of indulgence, especially with the Ten of Pentacles underpinning this, allow yourself that, right? Give it to yourself as if it were a gift, like the Ace, and allow it to sort of turn over your turn over or sort of change how you perceive the world or how you feel about your place in the world or in situations in your life, and watch how it can kind of shift not only your perceptions or your relations and what you're experiencing, but it can also in turn recharge you and allow you to shine even brighter in this energetic light that the Miracles Now card speaks about. So let's go to the clarifiers really quick. With the Seven of Pentacles, this is about, to me, it's a pause, the Seven of Pentacles. And I don't mind it because it's earth energy, so it's grounding, right? And it's about like looking at where we've come from, what work we've put in. It's almost like what's the word I'm looking for? Like it's a well-deserved break to sort of contemplate where we're at, what's gotten us here, the work, the energy, the attention, the skill set that's brought us to this point, and to honor that to a certain degree, to allow yourself to rest. And Seven of Pentacles, it's not far from the 10, right? So to me, it's like, I always think of this card is now the time to harvest. Like maybe take a pause, reassess, look at the situation. As we're using that energy, that's maybe where we do also recharge our battery and renew our connections to situations, relationships, whatever it is, however you're experiencing this Ace of Cups. It's well grounded and well served, I guess, with the Seven of Pentacles underneath this, because we're becoming aware of like our skill set. And what I mean by skill set is like the energetic light that Miracles Now card is talking about. I'm not talking about just like, it's just that it's about like the love, the care, the attention that we put into things, and honoring that at a deep emotional level and grounding in that and reflecting upon that allows us to maybe that time to recharge and create more of that light. I hope I'm making sense, you guys. The next card is the Five of Wands. This is a whole lot of fuckery card. This is basically political debate, argument. Wands is fire and that of spirit. This, the suit that's associated with the spirit. But to me, this looks like there might be some things going on around us. I don't feel like this is our card, because the interesting thing is while they're all fighting just in how the card is set up, it looks like this group over here is fighting and he's got his rod, which is actually a hoe. And, I'm not calling anybody a hoe around here, but he could be over here in the fight. but he's not. He's choosing to turn away and like tend to his own bounty, like taking a more calmer, um, peaceful, not getting involved in the politics, the dramas, the opinions of others, and letting that weigh him down. Fives are transitory, so whatever is going on around us that might feel dramatic or um, feel like it might stir us up in a weird way, right? Where we get either resentful or angry or frustrated or whatever. Just don't get involved in it. Like, I feel like the Seven of Pentacles is kind of like, I'm going to stay in my lane and just watch what I'm trying to produce. Stay focused on my goal of bringing in this harvest. Let all that other stuff, whether it be, friends fighting or family fighting or just drama in the workplace, let that all work itself out. We don't have to necessarily get involved in the fight. We've got something bigger going on here. We've got something better that we're working on, and we want to stay connected to that, especially through our emotions during this time. Is the way that yesterday's Sunday reading looked like. It looked like doors are opening to us this week. So this Five of Wands could represent even like an old pattern between, say, you and a partner or you and a family member, where they want to engage you in that pattern, but you don't necessarily have to. Does that make sense? Because there's this renewal of this ace here where it's like, oh wait, I don't have to let them push my buttons. I don't have to bring my hoe to the fight. I'm sorry, I just had to say that. All right, let's go to the last clarifier. The last clarifier is the Four of Wands. I love this because this is like tranquility and peace on the opposite side of whatever this drama is in the middle, right? Four of Wands is a lovely card. It's usually a card of celebration. It can represent marriage, soulmates. I really think that this is about us honoring ourselves first and then finding a renewal of how we, honor our relationships. But to do that, we need to first honor ourselves. That's the thing about recharging the battery, because the world needs our energetic light. And I think that the Four of Swords, the Four of Wands is a very, even though it's associated kind of like with soulmates because of the 1111, right? You see the two set of wands and the other set of wands. It also can just be representational of our own soul, our own connection to our own self, and the foundation that we're creating in that. Does that make sense? Because fours to me are always about foundational security. I always say there's four legs on a table. That's how it stabilizes the table. So to me, this is about really grounding in how we feel, where we connect to our spirit, and then looking at the work how that works for us is that Seven of Pentacles. And what are the next steps that I want to take? And if there is sort of things that want to steer our attention away from that, that would be the Five of Wands. Try not to allow that to happen. Try to make today the day where you do recharge your battery, where you do concentrate solely on yourself, your own well-being, your own, that Four of Wands can be about celebrating our own spirit, the spirit that resides within us. And the Seven of Pentacles would indicate a pause and a reflection on the work that we've put in thus far, or the experiences that we've learned. And underneath all of this, right, is that Ten of Pentacles, which just says to me that there's something big here this week. And we need to maintain focus and stay geared towards that versus things that are outside of us that might be of a lower vibration, I'm going to say. That's what that the Five of Wands is about. I did want to point this out too. I said it in the messages in the morning reading from yesterday, but the grounding stone, I said this in the video, is courage for the week, right? There's a certain amount we should be grounding in our own courage, and that's how I said I love the shape of this, because it looks like a heart. And then I was thinking about it, and I didn't say it in the reading yesterday, but to live from our heart, which would be the Ace of Emotions, it does take courage. to like be in that sort of emotional truth and then living from that, it can be vulnerable. Oftentimes we're taught through conditioning, our families, society, however we learn it, we can sometimes be taught to hide it or not allow it to truly be seen for fear of being vulnerable or ridiculed or whatever. This is not about that. I mean, these guys can ridicule and screw each other over. We're going to step back and appreciate ourselves today. Now, here is the grounding stone for the day. You want to ground in wisdom. It is on obsidian, which is going to like definitely ward off the negativity of whatever this Five of Wands drama is. It's also about spiritual wisdom, right? Emotional intelligence, connecting to those aspects of ourselves that inform us, not only spiritually, but also emotionally, and how and where we apply that education or that information in our 3D world and the work that we do. That's the Seven of Pentacles. Once, you know, if we ground in that wisdom, we can really put it to good work, good use, and we can really use it. Like we have that midweek justice card, which was really signifying like a shedding of a skin. You know, these old buttons can't be pressed is like kind of what I keep hearing while I'm looking at these cards. The old triggers or the things that used to get to us don't necessarily have to. There's a new emotional well-being that's coming forward that's going to inform our decisions differently from this point if we're conscious and aware of it and we have the courage to live by it. All right, that's your reading. I hope that made sense, you guys. Please tune in tomorrow. Please like the video, give it a thumbs up, leave me a question or comment, share the video out, and by all means subscribe and hit the notification bell. I do daily content. I look forward to seeing you guys tomorrow to see how the energy builds. Have a great day. Take care.